Good evening, everybody. We're back. It's Saturday night. We're delayed a little bit. I had to work. The first time I've worked this late in a long time. So grab a snack because I'm going to eat as we're talking. And let me wait for Deb. She is not feeling well, but she's going to give it the good old college try. So tonight, I just want to send my condolences to the young man in Memphis. This is getting out of hand, people, and this is why we need to talk about some things. And for anybody bold enough that want to come on, that want to voice their opinion, you're welcome to do so. So come on in, come on in, come on in. I see somebody out there. How you doing? How you doing? I'm doing okay. Excuse me. I even have popcorn just in case it gets good because, like I said, uh, we've got to get to the root of the problem. And, I was just thinking, some of the homelessness is due to the fact that, people have been wrongfully accused. So there's so much going on. Stand by. Let me get my friend on. I got notifications coming in. I can't believe you can't hear me. That was a good little something. Can you hear me now? Hi, Erica. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Deb, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
You're going in and out. I don't know. I went out a couple times and came back in. Can you hear me?
Okay. Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me? I'm not sure. I may have to edit some of this stuff out. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to use the earbuds. But yeah, I was on here just to talk and I had a good little thing going. So I was telling them that I worked all day from 7 this morning. And I don't know if you can, but see if you can share it out because I've been on here. I was going to start over, but it is what it is. I just worked all day and I was, this is the first time I've worked this long in years. I don't work this late on Saturdays. And I usually finish by 1 o'clock, but I had to work. I'm hungry, so I was saying I was eating. And I wanted to send my condolences to the young man out of Memphis. And I'm just ready to go in on people, wanting to understand what the heck is really going on and all this racial profiling, harassment, exclusion. It's time for people to stand up. It's time for people to understand what the heck is going on. When people tell you something is wrong, people need to believe it. It's been going on for years. And then I was saying that as part of why people are homeless, people are being wrongfully accused and everything else. So when people say something is wrong and why we go after one another is beyond me. So these are the things I think we can talk about. I know you're not feeling well, but you can, if you feel like leaving early is perfectly fine. Hi, Angela, you want to come on? That'll be nice. Anybody want to come on? Let's talk about it. Because I know people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. I know there's people sick and tired of saying justice. I know people are sick and tired of saying, pray for this person. It's too much. So I think it's time to have a topic. I think it's time to have some serious conversations. And like I said, anybody that wants to come on, go ahead and come on. We can get 4 people on at a time. And Deb, since we can't see you, I can't see your head moving. Go ahead and chime in.
Well, this is very disappointing, extremely disappointing, on a lot of levels. We've being a mother with a male child, outside of the Memphis area, it concerns me. But it concerns me across the board because it could happen in any state.
Well, yeah.
At any time. And what is the real solution? I don't know. How do we hold elected officials accountable? How do we really address racial profiling? And it's not one size fits all, I think.
No. Oh, for
And
one, they don't even know the reason why some people are doing what they're doing. They're just assuming they're putting everybody into the social platform, into the in one box.
mhm.
And there's no one, and we have to understand. We have to start taking our time to listen to people. We have to hear people. That's a problem.
Well, when you are a person, when we grew up, we were taught that law enforcement was a safe place to go. They were our friends. They were here to protect. The whole serve and protect has a whole different meaning now, I feel.
Clearly. Clearly.
And I just am concerned now. Um, where are we going to go from here? Um, it definitely, I've thought about the impact that mental health maybe plays on this. Do we need to do more mental health screening of law enforcement? Do we need to do
Yeah.
regular sensitivity CIT trainings for law enforcement so that they know how to handle different age groups, different genders, different ethnicities, all of that? What can we do to improve here? Because it's definitely a lot of room for improvement across the board.
Yeah.
And, my condolences go out to his family, to his mother. Um, but justice would have to be served. And I
Yes.
was,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I believe that, as they say, you're innocent till proven guilty. But once they released that video, I mean, I just don't know. Then I heard they all made bond. So I'm like, how was that possible? But I just think we need to do a lot of evaluation at this particular time on so many levels, because even for those individuals, you know, everybody is struggling with this. I feel sorry if they were to walk the streets. They're almost not safe in so many, you don't know how this might be a trigger for somebody else now. And I've started wondering, what if they had altercations with other individuals and it was never investigated, maybe not taken seriously, swept or avoided? However we do this, I'm just concerned for everybody that's involved, because now we have multiple states, multiple families on edge on a lot of different levels, and people are feeling a lot of different emotions right now. And
Yes.
mental health has to be considered. And what are these communities putting in place for emergency trauma? This is a big trigger.
Yes. 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 It really is. Um, there are solutions. The thing about it is, um, that's another issue. The title. Everybody's got to have a title. But there are people in the community that have solutions, have been speaking for a long time, and they were ostracized. They were put in a box as if they did not know. But the people that know are the people they are keeping from adding their uh, information, adding their knowledge, adding the skills, because now you're at the point where you're going to have to deal with people that are have been in the communities, that know what people want, that know what people are hearing and saying and doing. Because, like you said, across the board, that's not okay. It's just not okay.
It's not. And I really hope that, you know, the violence can be minimal, that if people want to protest, let's do it peacefully. Enough violence has taken place. And
listen, let me tell you something. The men are not, yes, that's in a perfect world.
yes.
But this is what I think they want. And you got people that are like the yes men
Mm-hmm.
doing the dirt. But
Mm-hmm.
people aren't going to stand for this too much longer.
Mm-mm.
You know, they're not going to, when you want to talk about something, excuse me, and nobody's hearing you, then somebody is going to, it's just not okay. It's not going to be peaceful if they keep doing it. And I think they know this. I think that's what they want.
Well,
But the devil is.
absolutely. I do agree there is a solution. However, I think we're going to have to really dissect this on so many levels to find out what is a realistic solution, because
who's going to dissect it? You know what I'm saying? Well, who do we have that people can look up to that can go through all these different departments and literally dissect it? That's a problem because it's so messy now. Does anybody agree on anything? That's a problem.
well, I think one thing that needs to happen immediately, in my opinion, is we've got to get emergency trauma teams addressing mental health active in all communities. We've got to realize that we have a crisis here, and we need to have crisis teams implemented in every state, in every community, because this is going to send people over the edge. I did not want to even view the 3-minute video because of everything that I heard. However, I listened to clips of the audio, and I couldn't hardly make it through 1 minute of that. And
I'm not watching it. It's already. I'm just not watching it. It's enough. That's why
yeah.
I'm not putting that in my spirit. It's already enough. That's what I refuse to do. But you know, like Angela Johnson's on here, she says, what about mental health and stability of cops? Absolutely. These cops, listen, they're not okay. And as
No.
quiet as it's kept, if you work, if you're an EMT, you have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Absolutely.
If you're a cop, you clearly have post-traumatic stress disorder. So they should be evaluated on a regular basis because they're seeing stuff, hearing stuff, doing stuff. They're traumatized too. And that's the problem I have. Yeah.
I really think that, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, people are just going through the motions here. People just working, paying their bills, living their life, not paying attention to what's really going on with people in society. It's a huge issue. And yeah, anybody that works in the public should constantly should be mandatory that they go through counseling, observations. But then again, like I said, even that area is struggling. So you're darned if you do and darned if you don't.
Well, I'll tell you, there, at least I've been taught or told in our state, we kind of have a crisis with a shortage of therapists for whatever reason. However, telehealth is available in states that have it. I think we have a population of people that still do not have insurance. So some of the individuals cannot receive those services for mental health counseling because of no insurance unless they, can find a community health center in their area that may do it on a sliding scale or offer it free if they even offer behavioral health services. But law enforcement needs to be mandated. If it's not, you must have an evaluation every 60 to 90 days period. None of this, you tell me you're okay. And I think if you are in a situation where you end up having to take someone's life or you're a backup officer in that kind of situation, then you immediately need to deal with that trauma. Then you don't need to wait till your 60-day or 90-day cycle. You need to start hands-on counseling within 24 to 48 hours. And these police departments need to have mental health therapists, psychiatrists that are available to do that immediately. They need to be mandated to have contracts with psychiatrists that can properly diagnose mental illness.
Well, if that's the case, then see, they're not able to work because you can get it under control. But I don't understand why there isn't a medical team to begin with. Like, why don't they have psychologists, psychiatrists? Because we are in changing times here. And so, people need to deal with certain things that they see in the community. And it's been happening. But I don't understand why there isn't a team on the force that can help. But I mark my word now, from this point on, I can almost guarantee that there's going to be mental health staff on many calls and or in the facility, in the police department, because I guarantee you, police force, they're going to have to be under serious observations at all times.
Oh, absolutely. Thank God for body cams. You think about 20, 30 years ago, before we had that technology, what really went on. And I've really taken some time to sit and think what actually went on in some of these communities before we had body cams and dash cams on law enforcement vehicles. I think that we see the impact every day almost in our society with people leaving here too soon, that mental health is a real disease that needs real attention. And every community, every law enforcement, every form of government. I think like in behavioral health and MAT programs, they talk about doing random drug screens. I think randomly people need to be pulled in to see a therapist, talk about, you need to look what's in someone's file. You need to talk to them, set up regular support groups for PTSD. I don't think there's any way that a law enforcement person in this day and time is not affected by PTSD
Oh,
on some
no,
level.
right. I'm sure they are, especially if they're out in the community when you get calls on a regular basis. Because after the first call, you're not that strong where you should not have to
Hmm.
speak with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It,
Hmm.
that's trauma. Any kind of trauma, something that nobody is that strong where they can go for a long period of time without any help. Like I said, if you're an EMT, you 9 times out of 10 you have post-traumatic stress
Hmm.
disorder. I wish I could get a person on here that I know who is who suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and was an EMT for over 10 years, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, people that's why when you're in the hospital, you don't work on the burn unit for more than 5 years. You get transferred because of the trauma, because of
Hmm.
seeing people in pain. So what makes the police force any better? They see trauma every day.
Hmm.
So people need to be transferred, rotated, because nobody can stand that much trauma consistently.
Well,
And
we're
this
just
is just,
talking about, you know, their work trauma. Some of these individuals have trauma within their own family life. And we've got
yeah,
to, we've got to look at the work life balance. And sometimes you can be having trauma at your home. You could be going through domestic violence situation. You could be dealing with substances within your, all of that's going to impact your work responses sometime. And that needs to be taken into consideration. But so many, especially I think when you get in the metro areas, some of them are just having problems keeping staff.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and are running sometimes with not enough officers on the force. And if you're having a turnover, then maybe that needs to be investigated. Why can't you attract quality officers? And why is everybody wanting to leave? Are we not listening to what the feedback that some of those, there are so many levels of this, like I said, that probably needs to be evaluated on a deeper level. But mental health, I mean, just from what I heard on those few seconds this morning, I'm thinking we really need to look at the mental health of individuals we have said are here to protect and serve us, because clearly um, there was something really, really wrong on that call.
yeah. And can I tell you, people, listen, people, because you can't see what mental health looks like, people always say they're okay,
Mm-hmm.
but their actions, and like I said, people don't tell the truth because they could incriminate themselves even. Can you imagine how many police officers have said they were okay and lied? And what is the statistics of police officers um, in domestic violence? You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's a whole nother story.
Absolutely. I just, I really hope that our not only city government, but this needs to be something that Washington gets involved with. I feel as far as our senators and our Congress, we need to come up with some plans of mandating some mental health guidelines for those that are to protect and serve. This clearly is something that goes outside, I feel, of even local city government because it's going to take more dollars. It's definitely going to take, putting money into these communities to be able to afford to pay these individuals. And then if someone does have to be relieved of their duties for a while, put them on a medical leave, compensate them, but let's not just give people a badge and a gun and a taser and send them out there when you know that they're not mentally stable to do the job. Let's try to get them healthy again. I believe in rehabilitation.
Yes.
Get them some therapy, take them off the street, put them at a desk to file some papers, sign some papers, find something for them to do. But if they need help, they need help. And we need to respect that and give them the help. Because if not, that incident is either going to be on the street or in those people's home with their loved ones. There's got to be an outlet somewhere. So I really think that local communities need to receive more funding because, that means you're going to have to maybe pay officers overtime to cover while that person's out. It takes a while for them to go through these academies and get trained, and, a lot of time and effort goes into the recruiting process. So it's not just an instant thing for someone to become a law enforcement person, but we've got to come up with some better checks and balances because mental health is a true disease. We can't just go around saying people are crazy anymore.
No, it's
And
real.
yeah, and that's what we've done for so many. Oh, they're just crazy. Don't pay them any attention. They have a problem. We've got to start looking at people's problems, people's cry for help, and they don't even know sometimes they need help. But watch changes in people's behavior, their conversation, how agitated they are, how aggressive they become. All of those are warning signs sometimes that
Yeah.
something is wrong. And a lot of times we take the attitude, oh, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to be in their business. I don't want to ask too many. We better start asking some questions around here. For real.
You're right. You better start asking questions because people will they are quick to shut you down, you know.
And if that
But
happens, they're quick to shut you down. That ought to be a major red flag that
that's
you might need to go to desk duty for a little bit. And we
yeah,
might need to get you, an appointment to go see somebody for real.
yeah.
But we just can't just say, oh, we hear, oh, people are having a bad day a lot now. Well, if they're
Mhm.
having a bad day, maybe we need to help them, give them the resources to improve their day.
Yeah, because you can't always give people a pass. You got to ask the hard questions. You know,
Mhm.
everybody wants a pass. Oh, that's just them. No, nowadays you got to pay attention. Nowadays you have to ask the questions, and people don't want to be confronted. They get
Mm-mm.
upset when you say something to them, but that's part of it. Do you understand? That's part of needing to talk to someone. That's part of learning how to decompress. That's part of understanding it's okay to say, I'm not okay. You know,
Mhm.
we've got to get people to reconnect and understand when it's okay to say, I'm not okay. But the thing is, trust. So, see, they've already messed up because who's going to trust? Because so much is going by the wayside now.
It is
It's a
going to
sad
be very,
situation.
very difficult to trust. It's done a lot of damage in the area of credibility, and that's why I think these communities are going to have to be aggressive. We may have to hold some town hall meetings and have mental health professionals there and lay it all on the line and say, hey, we are sick and tired and sick and tired. Everybody making decisions for us. Communities need to have town hall meetings and start saying, this is how I feel. This is way I take this. And we have to respect other people's opinions and feelings about this. Some of this has been bottled up for 25, 30 years, and we keep like putting band-aids on it. And then
Yeah.
it erupts all back over something that you've tried to heal and work through. Then here we come. This is why, mental health education, I feel, is important because we deal with stigma in our society all the time.
Yeah.
We deal with stereotypes. We deal with triggers. But have we taught people how to deal with triggers? Have we taught them how to decompress? Have we educated to help reduce stigma? All of this needs to be brought out. See, not
Exactly.
every culture and every ethnicity and every gender has been exposed to everything or some of this education. And we have to be at the forefront now, I feel, in
Yeah.
really being boots on the ground with mental health. I mean, because it's happening in every workplace scenario.
Remember last week I told you about the workplace when I was at the grocery store. So
Hmm.
I don't care where people, um, I, it's there's a need, and I've been saying it. And if anybody follows my pages, I've been saying this for I know 10 years. I even asked, what if we put more money back into mental health? People looking at me like, who does she think she is? I've been telling people about this very moment. Here we are.
Yep.
It's a sad situation. But yeah, I think you're right. Each community, we need to start doing something. Communities need to get closer and tighter. There's a need for a lot of stuff, but the other thing is who's gonna get the ball rolling, who's gonna take the initiative. Everybody, oh, I don't want to do that, I don't want to get involved. Well, it's gonna be in your own backyard.
Yeah.
you know we've been saying it for a while here, but again, racial profiling, harassment, exclusion, is real, and nobody wants to come together. And the thing about us as a group of race of people, we want to see other people do the work. We don't want to get involved. We want to sit back and watch. And then if something comes of it, oh, I knew they were going to do something. I we got to get over that. We've got to do better. We've just got to do better.
I agree. I agree. Sometimes people feel like, Jewel, they're not going to be heard. Um, they're not going to be respected. They're not going to have a seat at that table.
Hmm.
And that has happened for a long time.
Yeah.
But I believe and I pray with this incident that changes very, very quickly,
Yeah.
because instead of us progressing, it seems like like we are taking 200 steps backwards, and we
Yeah,
can't be,
regressing.
we
Yeah,
can't continue to do this, and we shouldn't have to operate in fear,
right.
and we shouldn't have to operate in anger.
Not at all. But it's more now. It's more so now than it's ever been. And that's because nobody's being heard. And the wrong people that are in the position that can make decisions, either they're not all there or they're just selfish. Because who's lining their pockets is what I want to know. When you see a problem and you still don't do anything, that's a problem.
Well, I'm just wondering how many of these people solve a problem.
Yeah. Come on, somebody. I see Bobby Miller out there. Angela Johnson's out there. We can get two people on. Anybody want to come on the platform? I'll let you on. So come on the platform. Sean E. Anderson. Do you want to come on? What else is on here? Bobby, go ahead. Can you click the link? Robert Miller, please. I'll let you on if you want to push the invite button. Okay. Let's see if we can get Pastor Robert Miller on. Oh, all right. Hey, I didn't even see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, sis?
Well, doing okay. We're on a topic here. I took my earbud out because people were saying they couldn't hear. So I'm just speaking. I don't know if you're a little delayed. What do you have to say about this? You're down there in Memphis. Or are you there?
I wrote in. Let me turn off my Bluetooth. Okay, can you hear me, Jules?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I'll be honest. When I came in and heard the topic, I don't want to be offensive, but I didn't want the video to be shown. I knew I would have the reaction that I'm
I
having,
didn't watch it.
and so my intention was not to watch it because it took me all the way back to roots and some of those things that I had to
Mhm.
process. And I'm still processing this because nobody's able to make it make sense. You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
it was something they could tell me, this young man, but if this was a random act from the police officers, I'm left to believe there are so many other cases. There are so many other people that said, I'm not going to tell how to reach out. There's more than this young man.
yes,
Yes, I'm
yes,
in this area. I'm not happy about it, but it has one thing going that we need, and you're doing it. We need to talk. It's a it's a
yes,
it's a not let's bash one another and beat one another up, but it is time now that everybody. This
yeah,
is a mean, cruel world to do what they did, and you have to have a lot of bitter. You're damaged. I can't begin to tell anyone how broken you must be that you could go to sleep after you could do that. So that means what is the sum? What is any conscience? You know. So sis, I wasn't gonna jump in, but I love you that much when you told me come on. I just wanted you all to know that this is a very difficult topic for me because I'm processing the fact that I've had a lot of things to re-stirred up, a lot of things that and when it don't make sense to me, I gotta ride around now with all this fear Not just from now, I have to say every time. So, y'all, we just got to continue to band together, talk, follow the process. There's one thing I did say about this that I thought, like his mom, they have to show the video. They did the necessary things that we all should have been calm about. They fired these men. They held them accountable for what they've done. And we do have due process. Now, when we get to the end and we don't get the results and the justice for Tyree, then we get our signs out. Then we get out. So I'm just going to sit here and say, I'm going to follow the whole process. Because getting in a hurry of it or making unnecessary noise and spending energy, time, and money when we got to go through the due process. I believe these men are going to pay, not just in man's law, but through God's law. We reap what we sow. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he reap. The righteous judgment of God is for us not to try to avenge Tyree, but let God do it and let the process that these men are. I wouldn't want to be them 5 men. That's all I can tell you. I don't care. If they didn't think this was going to go to this level, they will never have the peace. Woo, in this world.
That's true.
Yeah, but Black Queen says those dudes is horrible that did that. Yeah, they are. Because where have people been? Who's been raising? Who raised you is what I want to know. And what makes you think? So who corrupted them, their mindset? So see, this is what I'm saying. We have to get back to basics. We got to start doing the right thing. There's no more, oh, I don't want to associate with them because they think this, that, and third. No, understand what people are going through. Understand they need to be heard. Somebody is calling out. But yeah, we got to go all the way back and find out what kind of trauma have they been into that caused them to do that? How long have they been on the force and nobody heard? Or maybe they heard, maybe they saw, maybe they just didn't say. See, so those people that don't want to say are the problem. They're part of the problem because that is just all wrong. Everything about it is wrong.
Good evening, Sister Shaw. Sorry about that. I think I just came right in running my mouth, but good evening to you as well.
Good evening, Pastor.
Yes, Deb, what do you have to say about that part? I mean, it's just a lot. It's so much. So I was even going to cancel tonight because I didn't get off work until late. And Miss Deb is a little bit under the weather. Excuse me. But I don't know what we have to talk about some of these things. Now, next week, we may be able to talk more. And feel free to put your comments in the comment section so that we can talk about this next Saturday. And for anybody else that's watching and listening, you can support me by sending stars so that we can come on and talk about this stuff every Saturday. We're going to try and do every Saturday, 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and 7 o'clock. No, Central Time is 6 o'clock. Okay, Central Standard Time, 6 o'clock, and Eastern Standard Time is 7 o'clock. But yeah, these are topics we're going to start talking about. It's no more sweeping stuff under the carpet. It's no more, oh, I don't want to say anything. And you say this all the time. We're not doing that. Get along, go along to get along. We're not doing that over here because people sitting up there watching your channel don't want to support you, don't want to say anything, but quick to share other people's stuff, quick to share negativity, quick to share raunchy stuff. Let's talk about these problems on this platform because I'm over all this other stuff. It has nothing to do with what's going on in our communities right now. Dad, back to you.
I hope that our pastors will take the forefront and start having these conversations in their congregations, because I think they're going to see people come through the door tomorrow that are very broken, very confused, and emotions on edge. And I hope that they're able to either Sunday night or the first part of the week say, we need to have an emergency church meeting, have social workers or therapists there to do crisis with our community, because our congregations are diverse age-wise. We have a lot of mamas that have sons. This is impacting our home. We need to be praying like we've never prayed before and cover our households, cover our communities, because the scripture tells us that the Satan's going to do these he's coming to steal, kill, and destroy. And he doesn't care who he uses to accomplish that goal. But I hope that our pastors in our church can stand over the pulpit tomorrow and say, we need to talk about this in this church. I need to know that the people that are my sheep, that I know that you all are healthy, and we need to take the steps to help you walk down this road, because it's a difficult thing. I have a son. My heart goes out for that mother. God knows it does. I mean, I can't imagine. But I think if the churches would start having open dialogue with their members, we need to make sure the people sitting on the pew are okay.
Amen to that. Because they're not okay. And you can't just pray it away. You can't just pray it away. So for all of you can trust and believe all day long, but you cannot pray it away. You've got to be proactive.
Well, prayer is the principal key. We want to always acknowledge God, but as you say, we must have the hard talk now. We must step away from the podium to deliver the word without first acknowledging that the Lord, he hears the common people. Just good common sense. This has been allowed. The Lord is omnipotent. He's all-knowing. He's seen it. He knows it. Now he wants to know, like Sister Shaw said, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop business as usual to let these young men and young people in your church speak, open the platform for everyone to, because the children are scared, the adults are scared. I want to say this about talking to people and having these kind of talks. Now, we're not in service on Fifth Sunday, but we will be next Sunday. But I will say this. I went to a prayer breakfast this morning with over 200 men. And I didn't know anybody at my table. The four gentlemen I sit with, this was a topic of discussion. We didn't talk about the football. We didn't talk about the Super Bowl. And so I appreciate you even saying that, Sister Shaw, because yes, on First Sunday, our annual church meeting will probably be split in half to know we dealt with Darren Hamlin when he died in front of the world, and we all prayed for him. So this time, this young man died in front of the world. We have opportunity now to do the hard talks and to know that the Lord expects us. And all of the men that I was dealing with today, I told them about a situation, and I'm not going to talk much longer. But I just stopped by the police, and this has happened more than 3 times. I asked the police for mercy. I haven't gotten a ticket. Matter of fact, one female police officer said she never heard it. She said, I never heard anyone do that. I was riding with a leader two leaders, matter of fact, and I was sitting in the front. We had just had this topic in church about if the police stop you before anything goes down, just say, have mercy on me. And if they say you do it, just acknowledge it. You're not going to really win a fight when there's a man that has the judge and jury over you. It's between you and God and him to say, have mercy on me. And the lady said, you're going 51 into 35. She said, but sir, I never heard anyone say that. So she said, Mr. Miller, have a nice day. Slow down. I believe she had mercy on me because I humbled myself and even told her I was. Because I was. But most people, what you stopping me for? Just let the window down, stay calm. And I'm not going to say it's going to work for everybody. You got to check your attitude. But I thank you for that, because we got to talk about these things and bring it into church, because that's why people are not coming into church. We're so bound with tradition to just, and I don't want to beat up anyone, but we have to stop now to know when we come here, we're supposed to leave better. You should go to a place and feel safe, and that the pastor says, look, if somebody comes in here to rob us, put your money in your purse on the table and get on the floor and obey them. You think we want to kill somebody over them robbing the church? We don't need guns. We don't need to fight violence with violence. We need to remain humble. Understand that until we all come together and accept, we have to accept. This has gone on traditional wise to where if God really did want to interact or say, whose church is it? Is it your church or is it my church? These people are hurting. You're right. And you're right. If I had counselors that I could bring, or someone that could come in and try to help us make this make sense, because it don't make sense to me as well. So I know there's people sitting there saying, my God, what in the world are we coming to that you can savagely beat a human being to death and nobody wants you with aid out of 9? It wasn't just 5.
That's
Remember,
right.
there were 2 other
Yes.
officers that showed up, and then 2 paramedics. We got to know, y'all. This is real serious.
It is. And I agree with due process. We need to respect the process. I believe in prayer. If my people would humble themselves and pray and seek God's face, we've got to really ask God to strengthen us, because this makes no sense to anyone, and we can't justify it. We can't, but I think we need to be able to let people do like what we're doing, have a dialogue, help temper and calm emotions, come up with some strategic plans on how to not trigger a law officer. If you have an encounter, if you get pulled over, don't jump defensive and become aggressive and acting crazy and provoke them to another level. Stay as much peace as you can and pay attention to the badge number if you need it. And we need to tell them what to look for. So many people are so afraid they don't realize that looking at a badge number or a name and writing that down or remembering it or even taking a screenshot on their phone quickly is important.
Yeah.
And we've got to feel comfortable about reporting things if we have encounters. Right now, a lot of times we're afraid to speak up if we have a negative experience, but we've got to equip our people. We just have to equip people. And I think the church is a hospital, is what I was taught back in the day, where people that are sick go to get better, to get healed. And I think this is a time where the church needs to help with some of this healing process, because this is a very deep wound that has gone on for generations and for
Yeah.
centuries in our society, unfortunately. But we
Yeah.
have to have an outlet. And for many in our culture, our only outlet sometimes is church and our church family. So we need to be very strategic and have those therapists and mental health professionals in place to help us process this,
Yeah.
because it's something to process. I mean, this is something that after I heard it this morning, I'm like, wow, where do we go from here? Lord, heal our land, heal us.
Yeah.
This is a deep blow from back our ancestor time, if you want to get real about it, and I'm like, but I hope that our churches will not feel like we can't talk about it and help people.
Yeah, we got to talk about it and keep talking about it. And I'm kind of glad. I think we are ahead of the curve because we both keep feeling stuff happening. We both keep feeling, like something is going to change. Something's got to change. And right when we started this, our first talk was the first Saturday
Mhm.
of January, and here it is, the end of January. And now, if people don't know, they know now. This is a platform where they can come and talk about it, the hard questions. And starting next week, we'll be back on StreamYard, so we can get at least 10 people on at a time. But yeah, it needs to be a conversation. And for those that are doing everything else, like I say, now is the time to talk about it, because I don't care who you are, somebody knows somebody that has been through un- unjust period. If it's your job, if it's racial profiling, harassment, exclusion, yeah, it's live and well.
Can I add this to the conversation? One of the gentlemen at our table, he owns a gun range and he trains people on, guns. And the conversation went long with me with that, but I was able to share with him that my granddaughter showed me about an app that you can put on your phone, that when you get stopped by the police, if you're a teenager, you just hit one thing and it alerts, your parents, and it gives them the location. If your parents don't hear from you within 10 minutes, you don't need to go drive to the location and act up. You need to sit on the other side of the road. Or just a mere fact, all of us should have that. Not that you want to bring people into something, because it can be handled real well if we just stay calm, like Sister Debbie said, and then be respectful to them. Those people are out there. Most police, 55% of them are scared because of what they have encountered themselves. So you walking up on a person, you're scared, they scared. So why don't you calm the situation? But everybody needs to get that app. I don't know the name of it. She's not here. She's at work, but I will next week. Or Jewel, I'll text it to you. So in case I'm not able, everybody needs this. So when you getting stopped, I got a video camera in my truck, but I would love to have that on my phone just to let my wife know I'm being stopped. You know what I mean? For whatever
Yeah.
reason. You don't hear from me 10, 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Even if you get there and I'm gone in the ambulance, you will know Bobby was stopped at this
Yeah,
location.
well, you stay safe down there, and I'm glad you came on. I wasn't gonna come on tonight, and I was like, maybe I'll just come on and say, I had to work late, and we won't be long, but we have extended our time. We came on about 5:35, and it's now 6:42 Mountain Time. But yeah, we'll continue to have this conversation, Lord willing, next Saturday, same time, same place. but a different platform. So, and that'll be good because I'm using my phone and I'm not able to share and all of that. So we'll get it together, but at least we can still communicate and talk about it. So next week, we'll figure out if we should continue to talk about it or maybe just an update as to what happened from tonight to next Saturday. There's always something going on and there's always something we can talk about. So I appreciate you guys for coming on, and we will talk again. The last Makeup Monday is on Monday. So if anybody's watching and they're wanting makeup for Monday, I'll be live on Facebook Monday. And then on Tuesday afternoon, Instagram with my buddy Martin. And Thursday, Thursday evening, health and wellness as well with Martin. So Tuesday we talk about the topic, and Thursday night we talk about, we have an hour to get in depth. But Tuesday afternoons on Instagram is mostly for the gems and nuggets, and then we'll help you on Thursday, and then back on Saturday with Deb. So everybody's welcome. Tune in. Hey, thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the care. Who is that? Is that my buddy Martin or whoever's on there? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, well, really, I'm just trying to have a platform for everybody to come to for resources or what have you. So in between that and doing what I do, that's what it's all about right about now. So yeah, thank you so much.
Amen.
Deb, anything in closing?
Well, Jewel, I think you do a phenomenal job. I appreciate the work that you are doing and your willingness to discuss tough topics sometimes, topics that have not traditionally been addressed. And it takes a lot of courage and dedication, and I appreciate that. Everybody remember, there are good law officers out there. There are good law enforcement out there. Everyone that's on the force is not bad. But right now, they're on edge too, trust me. They're probably having problems digesting and processing and trying to decide how in the world did it get to this point. We're supposed to serve and protect. I'm sure they're not justifying. They're in a different position too. So we have to keep this in perspective and not escalate things because of our personal emotions. Mental health, again, if you're struggling too much, I encourage you to find you a therapist in your community to help you process this. Don't walk around and you become a disgruntled person that makes negative choices. Find someone to talk to about your emotional state by this. Nothing's wrong with that. You got a good pastor you can talk to that can help you work through it, fine. If not, find you a mental health professional and talk to them about how this has impacted you.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to talk. You got to keep talking. You may not be used to talking. You may not be used to sharing. But this is the time to start sharing, start opening up. And some people, they can't handle it. You know, they don't want to hear people talk, or they don't think they can handle somebody's situation. Well, that's fine. like she said, find a person that you can share with, a spiritual confidant, or because nowadays you don't know who to trust. You don't know who's telling the truth. You don't know what's going on. But I'm here. So that's one thing you can do. You can text me, you can call me, and I can help you with to help you decompress or to help you get in a sweet space until you're able to get to a therapist. Because with all this going on, especially now, it's hard to get an appointment. So
Hmm.
get to a platform or somewhere like what we're doing where you can voice your opinion, talk it out, let somebody know that you are not okay. It is okay to say, I am not okay.
Amen.
So yeah, we're here, simplyjewel.com. Deb has um what am I trying to say? Give them your website and your page, your Facebook page.
Voices of Savannah,
Voices
TN.
of Savannah,
We're on
TN.
Facebook. Right.
Yeah, Voices of Savannah, TN on Facebook. And Bobby, he's on Thursday nights. If you need a word, come on, people. We got to come together. We got to do the right thing. So, Bobby, tell them what your handle is on Thursday nights.
It's just Robert Miller. Just follow me, Robert Miller.
Robert Miller. Okay, everybody. So, at least tonight, you got 3 places. If you're feeling low, if you feel like you need to talk, if you need a word, uh, Tennessee, um, Bobby's in Memphis, I'm
Mississippi.
in Colorado, he's in the
Mississippi.
Mississippi, but yeah, down the street is Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anywho, listen, people, utilize your resources. You got 3. I'll put them in the comment section, or I'll put them because every week. So before next week, this one will be on YouTube. So make sure you follow Simply Jewel TV on YouTube and you can get all the lives, because it's hard to do it on Facebook, but nonetheless, simplygewel.com, Voices of Savannah, Robert Miller, coming at you tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll do it again next week, Lord willing.
All righty.
All right.
God
Thanks.
bless.
Peace
God
and
bless.
blessings, everybody.
Hmm.
Bobby, you want to say a word on your way out?
Gracious Father, Lord, we thank you. We ask you as we leave this live, but never from your presence. Keep your loving arm of protection around and about each and every one of us. We thank you, Lord, for looking over our city and keeping everyone calm, and God helping everyone to relax and to know that you're in charge. We give you the praise for it now. In Jesus' name I pray. Thank the Lord. Amen.
Amen, amen. All right, everybody. Stay safe and be well.
All right.
Signing off. Thank you, Deb.
You're
You
welcome.
get well,
Bye-bye.
okay?
Thanks.
I'll talk to
Bye-bye.
you soon.
All right. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody.